Labdien, dārgie skatītāji! Paldies, ka esat pieslēgušies. Šobrīd tiešraidē mums iet LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook kanālos. Tas, lai jums būtu iespēja izvēlēties savu ērtāko veidu, kur skatīties mūsu tiešraides par klientu servisa uzlabošanas risinājumiem. Šodien mums ir īpašs viesis no Itālijas pilsētas Torino, Gosmars, kurš ir X-Kalī, starptautiskā biznesa pārstāvis. Saruna šodien mums būs angļu valodā, jo Diego vēl pagaidām latviešu valodu nav iemācījies. Bet mēs ceram, ka mēs viņu apmācīsim. So Diego, welcome you in Riga in Latvia. How was your trip? How you like Riga?
Thank you for having me here today. The trip was really good. It's amazing to be here in such a sunny day in Riga. It's almost like to be in Italy.
Yes. Today we will speak about artificial intelligence. As I know you are a professional in that, and you even write a book. So please tell us all about artificial intelligence. What is it, and what we can do with you together and with artificial intelligence?
I will speak a little bit about artificial intelligence specific applications for the customer care world today, okay? So thank you for the introduction. Apart from managing the international Ingo operations, we specialize in customer care operations. I'm also mentor in an accelerator, a university accelerator and incubator for startups. And I also wrote such a book about machine learning. I called it the sixth chakra of artificial intelligence because one of the main applications of artificial intelligence is to make predictions. Mm-hmm. Just like for people who know about the Indian chakra, just like the third eye or the sixth chakra. That's the reason behind the name. I was mentioning that with X-Colleague, we specialized in omni-channel customer care operations solutions. So with the product, you can actually interact with customers by using several kinds of channels. Besides voice, recently also a lot of other channels took over.
Mm-hmm. But how it's correctly to call it omni-channel contact center or just a contact center? Because contact center is like contacting.
Yeah.
And omni-channel,
why that's omni-channel? An important question. I mean, somebody makes also a distinction between multiple channels and omni-channel. Actually, the solution is omni-channel because it's designed by default natively to manage multiple channels inside an integrated system. Okay, so the system is designed to be natively omni-channel to manage multiple channels interactions. And it turns to be effective in managing multiple channels together. So, for example, you can have the possibility to analyze what is called the customer journey. So, being able to understand if this customer got in touch with you by using, once voice communications a couple of times, emails, then he wrote maybe to you on WhatsApp or another social channels, and you'll be able to link together all those kind of interactions, and as a result, of course, provide proactive, better customer service. So that's what I normally call a real omni-channel solutions. Not just something with the voice capabilities where somebody added other channels later. And by the way, looking now at what happened in the past 2 years with COVID situations, there has been an increasing demand of omni-channel capabilities because, of course, people are working from home or remotely or everywhere, and so voice is still an important channel, of course, but other channels are getting their momentum, and we've seen an increased demand for other channels. even basic email, SMS channels, and social media channels, messaging channels. And even recently, we launched a solution called VDAO, which is a vertical video solution for customer care applications. So providing the capability to interact by using video, specifically with customer care skills and customer care capabilities inside that.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting in Latvia, we have very popular pizza, Lulu pizza. And what happened in COVID pandemics, they just switch off voice channel. But all the business for Lulu Pizza start with voice channel. They even have a number, 800 number, which ends with 5858, with meaning Lu. Yes,
that's interesting.
That is like a complete idea for the voice channel, and it just disappeared in the COVID. You can order just online, and that's it.
Yeah, that's something that happened at in a lot of organizations now. Mm-hmm. Maybe voice didn't disappear, it's still an important channel, but other channels are getting more used, especially chat, for example, or even social media. And it's important to have in the customer service the proper solution to manage that, and also the proper skills to manage those kind of channels. Mm-hmm. That's very important. Yeah. So that's about omni-channel. Moving on, so moving forward, we can talk a little bit about artificial intelligence applications for customer care. So I want to show you just 3 applications here. Quite important. We've been able to deploy some of them in some customers. I will show you also some case study if you like. The first application to be mentioned is about conversational AI. Mm-hmm. I will give you some example about that. Second is sentiment analysis. Also a very, very important application now in the customer care space. And the third application is not on the customer side, but more on the agent customer care representative. So what it's called agent recommendations. So solutions of AI to help customer care agents to provide the proper answer and to interact better or to find the proper answer for the customers during a conversation. Well, let's start with the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis market is increasing a lot. You can see here we are talking about more than 20% annual growth rate. Those are the predictions. It's not just about sentiment, actually. Its market is bigger. I'd like to talk more about conversational analysis, where we can analyze the content of conversation thanks to machine learning algorithms, and thanks to that, make some predictions. It could be a prediction about sentiment, so the mood of the customer, mm-hmm. or it could be just analyze the content to understand what are the main topics of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. But the mood, it's meaning that you can understand it's customer is screaming or like talking like poorly. So what is the meaning of sentiment? It's that you can analyze this conversation is aggressive, but you need to understand the words, what they say, or like intonance.
Yeah. It's really not just about the simple words. The algorithms, the machine learning algorithms, are getting more complex, mm-hmm. and they can really understand the full semantics behind that and the meaning behind that. Mm-hmm. So, for example, this is a case study we've been working on since few years, actually. It's in this example we have a fashion e-commerce customer, mm-hmm. based in Asia, and since 2017, in a couple of years, we've been able with them to improve a lot the perception of the service. So what it's called here the customer satisfaction index. So you can see that the improving was from 7.2 to 8.7 here. It means a lot, and that was also thanks to some sentiment analysis application. So When we apply that, the customer get aware of some skills improvements. They also improved a lot some information about the product, how to present the product online on this e-commerce platform, how to manage the shipment better, and so on and so forth. So by using sentiment analysis, you can actually define a scale from, for example, from 1 to 10, and it's about to understand, the level of the quality perceived by the customer about your product or your service that you are selling, actually. And similar things you can do by analyzing the conversation, so try to understand the topics and based on that perform some marketing operations with a specific new target to improve also the revenues and the return of investment, for example.
So that means that I could control my agents. Do they offer all my additional features to customer?
Yeah, you can do that, and I was mentioning about the other application, which is the customer service recommendation. You can also improve the knowledge base if you have one, and you can help the agents to get proper information and to pass this information to the customer, okay? So it could be a new offer, it could be also the way to present a current offer and to improve that. Exactly. Yeah. So that was pretty impressive, actually. But there are, as I mentioned, some other applications in the artificial intelligence space. We are providing a lot of conversational AI applications now. Well, starting with chatbot a few years ago, now we are providing also other channels. So what I'm calling here voice bot, which is the possibility to interact with the customers by using a machine, not just with messages, but also with voice. So voice recognition is important, of course, but also the possibility to use machine learning to understand the content of the conversation again. And more generally speaking, I'm talking about omnibot. So the possibility to use a human-to-machine interface across all the channels that we use in the customer care space. Okay, being there a voice channel, chat, an email, a social media channel. And this is an interesting market as well.
So that means that, but how you think people feel about that they need to speak with a bot? I mean, not in chatbot, but I need to speak with bot.
Yeah, I mean, since a few years ago, that could be a kind of barrier, but now they are getting more used to that. But of course, it's a matter also of design. How you design the dialogue, it's very much important. So my suggestion is do not improvise such kind of conversation. Engage with the proper skilled person, technicians and skilled person to design a proper call flow. This is very much important to provide us a good experience with machine to the customers. And the more you are also able to make a specific training to the machine related to the context, the sector where you're working, the better will be the accuracy, the better will be the experience. I have here for you a short video today of a concept that we use in another e-commerce experience, very similar, also this one in the fashion industry. It's just 3 minutes video. We can play it right now.
Yes.
And we will be back after the video for you and to move forward and to go ahead with that.
Thanks for calling Fashion B1, a new styling e-commerce generation. I'm your personal assistant machine. From the phone number you are using to reach us, I found a match with Mrs. Jane Doyle. Am I correct? How can I help you?
Yes, this is Jane. I'm calling because I received my shoes from you. However, the size appears to be small.
Okay, let me check, Mrs. Doyle. I've got your last order here in front of me. You ordered a pair of 6. We have both 6.5 and 7 size in stock. Which one would you prefer us to ship you?
Well, 6.5 should fit with me. Sorry for the noise, I'm currently out of the metro station.
No problem, I've got you. You'll receive the new shoes tomorrow. Size 6.5. The courier will be collecting the package with the shoes you want to return at the same time. Is it fine?
That's perfect, thank you.
Great. I've noticed you have also performed another order recently. It's about a men's suit, blue navy colored.
Yes, that's for my husband's birthday.
Okay, it seems this order will be dispatched a bit late. The expected delivery is in 3 days from now.
Oh, my bad. We will be on holidays in Paris in 3 days from now.
How long are you staying there in Paris, Mrs. Doyle?
1 week?
Well, I can reroute the courier and have them to deliver the suit in Paris if you want. Do you have an address we can use for that?
That would be nice, because I'd like to deliver this present to my husband next week. We are staying at the Lumiere Hotel in Paris.
Okay, let me check. I've got the Lumiere Hotel address, and I've rerouted the delivery there. It's 110 Rue d'Ambremont, 70,018, Paris. You'd receive the package there within the next 4 days. Okay with you?
That's great.
So, it's confirmed. I can send you the tracking number. Would a WhatsApp message be okay with you? Or do you prefer an email?
WhatsApp is just fine, thank you.
No problem, Mrs. Doyle. I will also WhatsApp you a discount coupon you are free to use in the next 6 months to get 30% on all our sportwear. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mrs. Doyle?
No, I think that's all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a nice day, Mrs. Doyle.
You too. I cannot believe that was a machine.
Thanks for your video. It's really great. So, I think about that, it opens new horizons for customer care and also to start some kind of export projects and get interactions with a huge customer base in just a few days. So I just imagine that in 1 minute you can call to 100 or 1,000 customers. You never be able to do it with.
It will be very tough with a real.
Yes, or very expensive.
Using the machine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, this market is growing a lot. Even here, more than 20% compound annual growth rate. Also thanks to the growing market in the automation. That's also another driver. And this is something, conversational AI, that you can use, for example, to provide easy 24-hour service, customer service, unlimited resources, virtually unlimited resources. So you'll be able to manage a peak of conversation very quickly, very easily. It suits a lot for repetitive tasks. So order management system, as you have seen in the video, that was just an example in the vertical e-commerce market, but we can work on multiple markets, okay? It's very good to provide first-level customer technical support, information about orders, payments, also very much used in the booking, customer service applications, and multiple other ideas that cross your mind can be fulfilled with the conversational AI, actually. I have a case study for you also here. This is actually a customer working in South of Europe in the public transportation. He started to implement conversational AI with us 2 years ago. And we've been able with them to achieve quite interesting results in terms of improving the customer experience, optimize the cost, so the operational cost, and also use omni-channel capabilities. So we started to work with them in 2 years ago, in 2020, by using the WhatsApp channel for customer service. So the WhatsApp messages have been routed to the agent, to the ex-colleague agents with proper skills. And then adding on top of that also the voice channel by using advanced IVR. And you can see here that we've been able to move more than 70% of conversational from human to machine, both on the chat and on the voice channel. And of course, generating a good saving in the service cost as well.
Those savings are monthly savings or yearly?
No, those savings are early savings right now, okay? And these are the figures about the number of conversation they generate normally. I can also talk a little bit, I'd like to do that, about the technologies behind that. What we are using is, of course, based on massive machine learning techniques. We started to use in the past, we used deep learning based on recurring neural network on long short-term memory. What does it mean? It means that we use AI algorithms able to keep track of the past. So those kind of algorithms keep memory of the past. And that's important if you think about, you want, for example, to understand the content of, let's say, of a simple sentence or even a longer sentence. If you are able to memorize the past words and the past conversation, that it will be easier for the machine to understand also the present and the future words in the conversation and the entire conversation. Nowadays, there is also an improving kind of algorithm based on transformers. For example, GPT-3 and GPT-4 from OpenAI, they use such kind of technologies, and we are integrated with them. And such kind of techniques improved a lot also the parallelization and the accuracy of the predictions. Actually, the accuracy is really important, because the more we are accurate with the AI algorithms, the more we are able to understand a conversation and to provide better answers to the customer, okay? So the language is going to be more natural and more accurate. And it turns to be that it's more and more difficult to understand the difference between a human and a machine, okay? So that turns also to be a philosophical situation where at a certain point somebody is saying that we will reach a technological singularity. So where the machine will be able to reach the same level of human thinking, okay? Maybe we are still not there, yeah? It can be a little bit scary, but it can be also an opportunity. Of course, the challenge will be to be able to manage these properly. So that's about the techniques, okay? Of course, it's not that always simple. I'd like to point out also few challenges that we have faced and how we been able to tackle such challenges, okay? The first is about data. When we use artificial intelligence, machine learning based algorithms, having good data, having high quality data is very much important. Maybe in your customer service you have a lot of data because you have a lot of historical data, historical conversation. But of course, such kind of data can be generated from different sources. They can be not very, let me say, clean, with a lot of noise inside, outliers. So it's important to pre-process such data.
And regarding GDPR, it's also, we must like
work on the privacy
some
a lot.
time when we where we like save those data.
Yeah.
We cannot save the data, so
that's an important point. So privacy is becoming more and more important, and so it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to find proper data and to be able to manage such data. So there are new techniques based on synthetic data generation, which can be of help. According to some predictions, it's interesting to know that in few years, the artificial intelligence machine, they will use majority of data, really synthetic data and not real data, to be trained. And so it means that also if we have a small amount of data, we will be able to generate, let me say, fake synthetic data. Of course, the synthetic data will not have privacy issue because they're not real data. And we will be able to use such data to feed and to make the training to the algorithms. And when I'm talking about privacy, it's not just about the external data from the customers. Sometimes a complex organization cannot use the data between different departments as well, okay, for privacy matters. So that's really a technology that we are looking at. And the other challenge that we face, especially when we talk about verbal, voice bot, conversational AI, and also sentiment, is that when humans communicate each other, they can use not verbal communication, okay? And it's even more important than verbal. So it's not just about the words that I'm saying now, it's more about how I move, how I use the gesture, my expression, the tone of voice. That's very much important. With the new algorithms, also machines are getting there. So able to understand the tone of voice, able to understand the cadence, the tempo, and with video recognition and video AI, also able to understand the facial expression and being able to see if you are probably happy now or sad.
Or I'm pretending happy.
Or,
yes.
Yeah. And that's another challenge that you can tackle with proper technologies. And the final one I'd like to mention is about, probably the most important one, is about people, okay? So, of course, to manage all those kind of possibilities or opportunities, let me say technologies, you need the proper people to do that with proper skills. It's not easy to do that and to get such people, so it's one of the most challenged. So in the customer care space, you need today to have data engineers, data scientists, and what I'm calling also, if we think about conversational AI, what I mentioned here about conversational designers. So people able to create a good dialogue design, and so to be able to provide you as a customer a good experience when you are using voice bot, chat bot, or conversational AI applications. That's really a key, really important. Yeah.
Thank you, Diego. I have some questions for you. One is regarding dialects. What about dialects? How bots deal with them?
Well, in terms of recognition, let me say speech recognitions, for example, in the last few years, we've seen a dramatic improvement of dialects and also, let me say, not common languages, okay? So now you are able to recognize a lot of languages, and on the other side, the machine learning algorithms to make the conversational analytics, so to understand the content of conversation, can now work independently from the language. And by using the transformer technologies I talked about before, for example, the new GPT-4, they will be using 100 trillion parameters to make the training of such algorithms. It means that it's almost like the number of human neurons in the brain. And of course, that brings the things to the next level. And the accuracy of recognition also of dialect, it's possible, okay? Yeah.
Okay, then one simple question maybe about the difference between chatbot and virtual assistants.
Well, it's I would say in this case it's about the level of complexity, because with chatbot you don't need, of course, the speech recognition. You just need to elaborate what's inside the test and to understand the content of the test. In the virtual assistant, normally we also do the speech recognition part, which is important, together maybe with the latest technologies, also to be able to recognize the not verbal parts I was mentioning, so the gesture, the tone of voice, and so on and so forth. So, of course, the level of complexity to set up a good virtual assistant is higher than the chatbot normally. But the principle behind it's more or less the same, okay, in terms of best practice.
And how do you think, what is about the risk for those automations to get actual human support that our customers cannot get to real human? They need just to use bots.
Yeah, I
what
mean,
about the risks there?
The main risk behind that that I've seen the past few years is to improvise a project. Okay, I would not recommend to improvise something like that. Just switch on a chatbot without a proper setup, a proper design. That's really important. And so I was talking about new skills. So it's important to design the dialogue very well according to your industry. So the dialogue that you would expect the machine to have with the customer. And this is not something that you normally do in a few minutes, just improvising, okay? It's important to make a proper project, a proper design to do that. On the other side, I think it's still very much important to have hybrid configurations, okay? So, okay, machine learning, okay, AI to perform human-to-machine interactions, but just my suggestion is let's avoid infinite loop inside the chatbot or the voice bot, because otherwise it will be frustrating for the customer. So at a certain point, we always deploy fallback rules to make escalation, okay, between the artificial intelligence and machine to maybe a team of human operators who can provide the next level of customer support. So it's important to work in hybrid environment.
Okay, you mentioned 3 applications.
Yeah.
Are there any more?
Well, yeah, there are more applications we've been working on. I've just mentioned the 3 important here, but for example, we are working on workforce management solution, which is able to allocate the proper people and proper resources on the proper services that you would like to provide. And that kind of predictions, of course, can be done very well by using machine learning. Another application in the customer care space can be, I would like to talk with the best agents who is able to provide me the best information, best customer service. So by using smart routing, analyzing the historical performance, the historical needs of that specific customer, you can be able to deploy a smart routing. It means that whenever the customer A would like to have some customer support, he will be routed to the optimal agent.
But everybody will want to speak with the best agents.
Everyone wants, but it's not always possible. Sometimes often I would say it's just routed randomly, okay? If you use artificial intelligence, you could analyze the history, the customer satisfaction index, the skills of each agent, and you will be able to forward, for example, the call to the optimal agents to do that. And that would be, at the end of the day, an increasing customer care performance. And yeah, that's more or less what's going on. And there are other applications, of course, you can imagine with AI. Actually, there are others
because
as well.
previously, for me, artificial intelligence was all about the virtual glasses. So but you looked how much it's all about the customer care, what we could use. So, but one important question about the Latvian language: can we use all these features also in Latvian?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't show you, but let's get a little bit also inside the solution. So this is an example of conversational IVR designer that we normally use in our solution, where we deploy human-to-machine interface. For Latvian, for example, we have the integration with this kind of speech engine, which performs very well in the Latvian language, and we can use that inside our solution. So yeah, we definitely have, I think, a good solution also for the Latvian, for implementing, let me say, conversational AI solutions using Latvian language. Yeah.
Great. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Diego, for deep dive in our new reality features, which are already available for our customers in Latvia.
Thanks everyone for having me here today. Hope that I will be here in Latvia again soon. Thanks everyone.
Jā, paldies, darbie skatītāji, par jūsu veltīto laiku mūsu sarunai. Ja jums patika mūsu video, spiežiet like. Pierakstieties arī uz mūsu kanālu, YouTube, LinkedInā un Facebookā, lai vienmēr būtu informēti par jaunajiem livestreamiem un par nākamajām pārraidēm. Jūs varat apskatīties mūsu mājaslapā sadaļā pasākumi. Lielas paldies jums par skatīšanos un atā!
Goodbye!